Good afternoon, just seeing if this is all working. Just seeing if this is all working on my phone, just waiting for the delay to catch up. And hopefully we have sound. Good afternoon. Yes, I can hear myself. It's always good when I can hear myself and everyone can hear me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, I come and find my comments on my screen so I can see who is commenting. Let's get rid of that pinned comment. Can I do that? Can I? Okay, comments going to be down here. Expand comments. Oh, it might be better. Okay. So if you are joining me this afternoon, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Melinda from Scrapbooking again. Yeah, 2 days in a row. Wow. I must admit I'm putting off my paperwork today. I've got to get some paperwork done after this. But I thought play first. Why not? Okay. Not sure whether anyone will join me on a Sunday, but pop a comment and say hi if you are joining me. If not, you can watch this on replay. So we do have a sale going on for the end of the year. Sorry, just setting up my phone so I can stay in frame. Ah, there we go. Sometimes my phone doesn't like to play nice. I did give it a bath the other day, so that probably doesn't help. It was dirty. I had to go for a swim in the kitchen sink. No, it shouldn't have gone for a swim in the kitchen sink. Oh, hi Jane, you set the alarm just for this. I'm only a couple of minutes late. Okay, let's get my drink bottle out of there. So coming on with a second live. Yeah, 2 lives in 2 days from Melinda. What a shocker. We will get there. So playing again with the Advent Calendar, which was our last release from last year. So Christmassy layout today. So I've been thinking on this one and changed my mind 10 times. So let's see what happens. So just first off, we've got 25% off all stock, excludes retreat payments. Discounts automatically apply to checkout. Goes until the 30th of June 2026, so next Tuesday I believe. And it's off everything: chipboard, Alexis napkins, I can't talk today, embellishments, foam stamps, stencils, anything that's on sale as well. I believe it comes off that. So stock up and grab a bargain. Let me put that somewhere. So you don't need a code or anything, it is just automatic. It will, at checkout, put all your stuff in the shopping cart, and at checkout it will automatically take 25% off your order. Okay, so I have an idea. That's dangerous when Melinda has ideas, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I pulled a whole lot of stuff from the Advent Calendar. Our layout's going to focus around these gorgeous little gingerbread napkins. I think these are just adorable. So with our Advent Calendar, we are going to release one for this year. It's going to go up for pre-orders at the end of July, and it will be posted out in the month of November. So for last year's Advent Calendar, you got some napkins. You either got a set or an A or a B, because we were struggling to get the amount of napkins we needed for the orders. This year we're trying really hard to see if everyone can have the same napkins. They're quite hard to get sometimes in the quantities we need. But if you didn't get this particular napkin, I think we do have a few spare on our website. You could have got little packages. Oops. So the Advent Calendar come packed up in little packages like this, or it come in little brown paper bags like this, or it come wrapped in paper for the bigger things. That was fun, wrapping all the things. So you could use these little images if you got these little bags. We tried to, there's different designs as well, and there's different designs of bags. We tried to give you a selection, because the idea is you can use these as well. So these would be just as cute with the little images. These would be just as cute to use if you don't have the gingerbread images. The word Melinda's trying to spit out. Tongue-tied today. So I may use some of these paper bags as layering pieces. That's the idea. So we're going to do sort of a neutral red and green theme, I think, today. I'm just putting those off to the side. Get rid of our stencils for now. I may use some of these tags. This is a new product in our Advent calendar, so we've got black and white tags. So the white ones are cut out of BRT Mixed Media cardstock, so they're quite strong and sturdy. So they can take a lot of ink and things. I may look at making some tags closer to Christmas. I can't believe it's 25 weeks till Christmas. How did that happen? So we might use, definitely going to use these napkins, might use this one, it's just a bit of paper. I'm going to use some of the acetate postage stamp frames. Grabbed another napkin we might use, and also grabbed this lovely wrapping paper with the bows on it. And I must admit, I may have bought quite a few rolls of this at Christmas time to use for birthdays and Mother's Day and Father's Day, because it technically doesn't scream Christmas. Yes, I'm one of those people. If it doesn't technically scream Christmas or have Christmas icons or words on the wrapping paper, it's fair game for all year. My daughter's learnt that one. She goes, but it's green, Mum. I said, but it doesn't have Christmas on it, Alexis, so we can use it. Because birthday paper is so expensive. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these napkins on a piece of, this is probably 150 GSM paper. Because I want them to be my focal image, I want to glue them on a bit of paper to keep them really bright and white. If I glue them on a background with different colours, you're going to see the colours through the little peoples. So with napkins, I sort of go, okay, is it a background napkin? Is it a focal image napkin? Obviously this one's a bit more of a background. We'll use that in pieces, maybe, I think. We'll see. Definitely going to use this one as our focal image. So if we're going to use it as a focal image, I like to either put it down first and work around it, so it's on a white surface, or I like to stick it onto a sheet of paper and fussy cut it out like I'm going to do now. So most napkins come with, when you unfold them, they have 4 panels of images. Sometimes the images are the same, sometimes they are, whoops, oh, I did an awful job of cutting that, didn't I? Oh! Let's cut that and not rip it. So they come with, most napkins come with 4 panels of images. Some are the same, some are opposite. This one is all the same. So we're going to take 1 panel of images. As I'm going to fussy cut these, it really doesn't matter how roughly I cut them out. So I'm going to put, so Alexis, my daughter, sells napkins on our website. She loves going out and finding them all the different designs. So what we need to do is remove the backing, and this one's going to pull straight off. Some napkins are easy, some napkins are a pain to take off. What I do is I grab something with text on it and put it, napkin over it. If I can read the text, that means there's no more napkins come off. But if I put the white one back on and try to layer it over, see how it's more cloudy. So some napkins have 2 layers, some have 3, just depends on, put my bin back here, just depends on the manufacturing process. You can keep the white layers and stamp on them, but hey, I've got millions of those. I don't really need any more. Let's get rid of these stencils for a minute. So what I'm going to do is, we're eventually going to fussy cut these out, so I'm just going to cut some of this excess white off. Because we're going to fussy cut them out, I just don't want all this white to glue down. So whatever technique I'm using with napkins, you can use with rice papers, collage papers, tissue papers, anything like those thin papers. So I'm going to grab a paintbrush, and I like to glue napkins down with acrylic matte medium. And you can hear it's quite liquidy, so because the napkins are so fragile, you really need a quite liquidy glue. So this one is, so it dries matte, so you almost can't see it. So I really like this one, but I put mine in a little Vegemite jar. You could use a gel medium. You just have to be a bit careful with gel medium because it's a bit thicker, and you're wanting a soft gel medium, not a really tacky hard one. Oh, I'm breathing and the napkin flies across the table. So I like to put it in the little Vegemite jar or jam jar, and so I can dip my paintbrush in. So to glue napkins down, if you haven't used napkins before, I use them a lot. I'm a bit addicted to them. That's how it all started. My daughter found my napkin stash and goes, Mum, I think it was during COVID, when we're home too much, and said, you're never ever going to use this amount of napkins. Can I sell them on your website? Yeah, 1,000 napkins later. So just going to put a decent layer on our paper, gently put our napkin down, and we don't really want to pick it up like I just did, because when it goes into the glue, it gets very, 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 very wet, obviously, and very fragile. So I just want to seal a layer on top. The reason we seal a layer on top does two things. It helps to seal the napkin into the paper or directly onto your art journal page, and it puts a barrier on top, so if you have an oopsie later with glue or paint, you can wipe it off. Now you don't want to go over your napkin over and over and over many times, because you could tear it, because it is quite fragile. Put that in the water. We're going to put that aside to dry. Yes, we could dry it with a heat tool, but by the time we fuss around with the rest of our page, this should be dry. So you are going to get a few little wrinkles in it. You can sort of sometimes smooth them out with your finger, but I don't really get concerned. So I'm going to pop that somewhere where it's not going to get anything put on top of it, and it's going to dry. Okay, let me set this up. So I've just got some baking paper I'm going to put behind my page so I don't slop everything all over the rest of my pages in my art journal. So this is just baking paper that you'd use in your kitchen. Just stick that under that page. It's just wide enough. And this sort of protects the next page from getting stuff all over it, especially when you're going to the edge of the page. You sometimes get a little bit of stuff, but that's alright. We can wipe that off if we're quick enough. So all I've done to my page is I've given a coat of gesso. I am working in it's my different album. It's the size of a Delusions large art journal, so it's almost the size of an A4 piece of paper. Two pieces of paper beside them each other. Slightly smaller than A4 bit of paper. And then I've just got some masking tape in the middle, because my spine sometimes gets a bit gappy because I'm a bit rough with my journal, so I've just done some sticky tape. Yes, we'll see the lines of the sticky tape or the masking tape. Does that bother me? No. And all I've done is given it a coat of gesso. So the reason we put gesso on our art journal pages does a couple of things. It seals the paper, so now we've got a non-porous surface to work on, and it also means our paint will slide and slip around on our surface and it won't soak in, and if you make again an oopsie, you can wipe the paint off. And I think that's a technique we might be doing, is some reverse stenciling in a minute. Do I want to do it with, yeah, I think I want to do it with this one. So I've got white gesso down. I'm going to do a bit of a background, and then we're going to play with our layers. So the idea is to have one of our gingerbread men over here as like a focal point in a bigger frame, and a couple over here, and a bit of a background. Don't know, it sounds good in my head. Let's see how it works on paper. So I've got some Dina Wakley fur paint. I need another paintbrush. And I'm going to put this down, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some baby wipes and wipe through the stencil. So this is going to give us the grid-like design on our page, as opposed to the little putting the paint through the stencil. So this only works when we've gessoed our page or we've got other paint on our page. So I'm sort of going to do it across the middle. Again, I want to leave some white space up here and down here. Well, that's the intention. So I like the Dina Wakley paint for this because it's a heavy body paint and it's quite opaque. I'll probably pick the silliest paintbrush to do this with. So I'm just going to do a small area at a time. So while the paint is still wet, and that's critical, while the paint is still wet, we're going to put our stencil on top and rub with our baby wipe. And we should be pulling some of the paint off, or all of the paint off, depending on how quick you work. It's quite warm in here, so our paint's going to dry really quickly. And then we can line the stencil up again and, oops, line it up. So this is called reverse, I call it reverse stenciling or reductive stenciling. Basically, you're putting paint down and wiping it through your stencil. So sometimes you can wipe it back to white. Sometimes you just get a bit of colour. I probably had a smaller layer of paint than I wanted. Let me grab a couple more baby wipes. out of my packet. It's good to have baby wipes at the ready. So now we're going to do this in another small section. So if I didn't mention, this is Dina Wakley Fur Paint in a nice bold green. This one might work a bit better. Now I've probably got too much paint. I always put too much paint or too little paint, so we're sort of gonna, we don't want our paint layer to be too thick. I'm gonna have to work quickly because I put way too much paint out, of course. Now I want to quickly line this stencil up. So I'm moving the napkin every time I'm rubbing, so I'm not just rubbing paint back on paint. When my baby wipe gets really, really yucky, I'll grab a new one. So when you're happy with the amount of paint you've wiped off, move on to the next section. So a lot of these little stencils we sell are, oh, I'm about to get paint all over my jumper, are what we call repeating stencils. So you can keep lining them up like this and going across your page, and then it looks like you've got a bigger stencil. It's probably drying, it's quite warm in here. So if you are in a warm climate like Queensland, or you've got the heater on because it's blooming cold here in Victoria, your paint will dry a lot quicker. That's the look I'm going for. And you don't want to rub way too hard because you don't want to rub off the gesso on your page. Now I want to continue that over there. Might just wipe off this paint that collects on the back of our stencil for now. You'll very rarely see me clean my stencils, actually. I'm a bit naughty like that. And I'm going to end up looking like a green Martian by the end of the day. So I want to connect it with this corner up here. So I also don't want it to be a straight edge. See how that's all wobbly wobbly? Wobbly wobbly? Oh, words today, seriously. Oh, some days words are hard. Adulting's hard. I don't want it to be a straight line. That's the words I was trying to get out. So this technique works better with what I call lacy stencils, so stencils that have a lot of holes. If your stencil has a lot of plastic between the holes, it doesn't work as well. So you're wanting a very open or lacy stencil. Okay, now while I've got my baby wipe, I like this down here, so I'm going to sort of try to extend. Oh, it's going to be a bit messy, but that's all right. Might fix it up with some stenciling. Try to extend the pattern just with what's left on the baby wipe. So it's sort of, that one's getting a bit wet. Let's try this one. So it sort of extends the pattern, but you're not introducing another colour. And sometimes I do this. Yesterday I did this extending with ink. Today I thought I'd do it with a bit of paint left on our baby wipe. I may clean this up a bit with ink in a minute. See, but I'm quite liking the distressed look. Looking something like it was in my head. Let's clean that stencil up. So sometimes if there is a lot of paint caked on my stencil, I will wipe it off. But if the paint dries, it will not affect your stencil. The only thing I'm really good at wiping off is texture medium or matte medium or any sort of thin texture paste that dries raised. Now my stencil is a lovely shade of green. but it will dry permanent on the stencil, so then next time I use it, it won't affect the green, won't come into my page. Okay. So I'll clean up, if I can, a little bit of this. No, that's not really going to come off. That's right. I think I will go over this with some more stenciling to clean it up a bit. I'm going to give that a bit of a dry. So could I have achieved that look by putting down my dark colour and then going over it with a lighter colour? Yes, but sometimes reverse stenciling gives you a more uneven sort of blotchy look than just normal stenciling, and it's fun. Yes, this is my way of telling if my page is dry. Whack my hand on it, put that in water. Okay. It's looking something like I had in my head. Okay, what are we going to do now? I think we're going to add some napkin. Let's have a think. And I'm just going to see why my phone is buzzing at me. Now my phone, it's all frozen. I thought I turned it off. I turned the volume off, but it still buzzes at me. It's weird. Phones are weird, and technology and I are not friends anymore, I've decided. It doesn't like me and I don't like it. Okay, so let's grab some of these out and make a bit of a plan. Have my fingers dry. Yes, I'm not going to put goop all over my acetate. So I'm a bit in love with acetate at the moment. So this is our postage stamp frames that come in our Advent Calendar last year. Now the idea is to use this black frame on this side and maybe two on this side, or maybe this one and I just do two, I don't know. So the idea is this will go sort of in the middle, and then I'm going to have some layering pieces around the edge. So I'm just thinking out loud. I think I want to bring this into it somehow, because I like the diamond shape and the diamond shape. That's why I've chose this stencil, because it's sort of matched. So I want to add some of this. And maybe I should have put this down first, but that's all right. So let's open this napkin up, and do I want to actually cut a diamond bit, or do I just want to... And we're going to be careful with this one, because it's going over the dark green, it's going to dull it, and then when it goes on the white, it's going to look... oh, we could do it in the corner. When we do it on the white... oh, I like... excuse me. I like that idea. Okay, where are we going to cut it? Ooh. So because I want an exact piece, I'm going to cut it with scissors, which normally I don't. I would water tear it, but because this image is quite fine, the water tearing works for when you've got more white space. So if you are going to fussy cut it with scissors, I would leave the backing on because it's a bit easier to cut, and then I'll take the backing off in a minute. So I think I'm going to take this bit and put it in the corner. So am I going to cut the middle of that, or what am I going to do? No, I'm going to cut in the middle of that stemmy thing. Excuse me for a minute if you see my head come into shot, because I'm trying to fussy cut something. So I'm cutting along, I'll show you in a minute, I'm cutting along the dividing lines. And I have a few corners on this napkin, so, and I have a couple in the set. So we sell napkins in a pack of 2. I say it's one to goof up and one to use, one to share. So you always get plenty of napkins to... Oh, actually I like that. And then I want some over this bit. So, yes, I said I was going to leave white space, wasn't I? I am leaving a little bit of white space. Okay, so how much do I want over here? I think we want this line, because that line, I want more. So I'm going to go this line. So do take it, now I've lost which line I want. Line that up again. So do take advantage of the corner things in your napkins and put them in the corner of your page. We're going to start there. Okay. So that's always fun. If you have an element that's in the corner of the napkin, place it in the corner of your page, and it helps with not having half a cut off napkin. I love playing with napkins. They're so affordable. They start on our website for a pack of 2 for 75 cents, so they're really great, and some of them go up to $1 or $2 just depending on the design. And that, so they are fun to play with. Oh, I'm liking that. Wondering if I need a little bit more here. Or do I do a bit more stenciling here? Actually, no, I like it lopsided. Okay. So now we're going to take the white bits off and stick this down. We're not going to procrastinate today. So this particular napkin, I'm trying to flick the edge and see if it's going to come apart. Nope, it's going to be stubborn. So if you've got a stubborn napkin, grab some sticky tape. Grab a little bit of sticky tape and you're going to stick it on the white side, half on and half off. So it's half on the white napkin, half just hanging off the napkin. And you can turn it over, grab the sticky bit and sort of peel. The white bit of the napkin sticks to the sticky, and then you should be able to, come on napkin. Some napkins are easy, some napkins, especially when I'm live on camera, decide they don't want to come off very easily. Just going to check, does that have another layer? No, that one's down to 1. As you work with napkins more, you'll get the feel of 1 layer. If it feels a bit thicker, so once you've pulled 1 layer off, you can sort of feel the difference of what 2 layers of napkin or 3 layers of napkin feels like. It's just as you work with napkins more. So a little bit of tape on the back side or the white side of the napkin. Grab the tape with your finger, and then you can tease a little bit of the napkin off, and then it will come apart. Some napkins will just fall apart, some are stuck like almost like glue, but they're not glued together, so they are fun to get apart. So I'm going to put this down here like this, and I'm going to put this up here like this. I don't know, it's going to be very sort of matchy-matchy but not matchy-matchy, if that makes sense. So we're going to glue them on with the same matte medium, this one, the same matte medium we used to glue our, what did we glue our gingerbread men to, our bit of paper. So if I place this over the green, you are going to get a different look than if you pop it over the white. So you've got to remember, napkins, especially with white in the background, go very translucent when you stick them on paper or on your art journal, on cards, on whatever. So just bear in mind what is behind the napkin when you go to stick it on. So have a bit of an experiment. Some napkins will look really cool on a darker page, some will not. It just depends on the look you're going for. If you're wanting the napkin to be as bright in colour as it can be, that's not paper towel, that's paper towel. You're wanting to stick it on a white surface. If you want to dull the napkin down, you can certainly stick it on a coloured surface. So it's fun to experiment with. So again, just putting a layer down where the napkin is going. We're going to try to line it up. It should be fun. So sometimes I deliberately put it over the edge instead of trying to get it all lined up with, that's as crooked as anything. Okay, let's turn the book, because that might be easy for me. Oh, let's not spill the matte medium. That would be dangerous. Just going to turn my book for a minute. I can see where I'm lining it up. Okay, that's a bit better. Sorry if my head gets in the way. There we go. Paintbrush. Oh, right there. So again, just going over the top, starting in the middle and going out to the edge, but not going over and over and not being too rough, and make sure you have plenty of matte medium on your brush. My art journal does get turned up every which way and the other when I am crafting. Sometimes it is easier for me to have what I'm working on right near my face. So this corner's easy because it's right down here. Just got to remember when you do turn your art journal upside down a few times, to when you're sticking something on, do make sure your journal's up the right way. Been there, done that. Done upside down journal pages. It's always fun. Now, you want to sort of commit once you get in the glue, because moving it is not fun when it's wet. So you notice up here I have got over a bit of the, not the darkest area, but this bit of paint, and you'll notice that the napkin is not that bright up there, but that's okay. I love napkins also because they can be a jumping off point for colours and things in your art journal page. I often stare at my blank art journal page and go, oh my god, what am I going to do? So I grab a napkin, and then it leads to an idea, and then it leads to a bit of colours, and then it's sort of a jumping off point. Do I want a little bit more down here? Because that looks, I don't know. But if I do a bit, it's going to look a bit funny. Do I extend this down here to come out to here? I think I'm going to extend this a little bit. Let me try this bit of napkin. I think I'm going to put a little bit more paint down here because it's looking a bit funny. Just to me, it may be looking alright to you, but to me it's looking a bit funny. Which doesn't surprise me, because where to put my stencil? Ah, there. So I'm going to sort of bring it down to here, I think. So it's sort of, I don't know. It's looking a bit funny down here. So I'm just going to put a bit of the same paint down I put down before. And we're going to grab the paintbrush and the paper towel I had. Not trying to make it match 100%, but this little bit's bugging me. Just drying off my paintbrush because I don't want to introduce a lot of water to the. Just making sure that bit of paper is where it should be. Not wanting to introduce a bit of water into my paint. Okay, I think I like that. Let's go with that. Let's get the baby wipes out first. That might help. Then we're just going to line the diamonds up again. Exactly what we did before. The thing about art journaling is you do it until you're happy. If I was doing this in a class, people could say, oh no, I'm happy with where I've got it. What I say to people is stop when you're happy. That's not lined up exactly right. Whoopsies. Everyone's happiness is different. So stop when you like what it looks like. If you like the look of it before, if you're playing along and watching this on replay, stop when you think you like your page. Always fun to try to get in the gutter of your book. This book is nearly finished, this art journal, so it's a bit lumpy bumpy, which is fun to work on. You don't necessarily need to work in an art journal. You could grab some BRT mixed media cardstock or some heavy duty watercolour paper and work on single sheets, which would probably be easier than trying to wrangle a book. But I like them in a book because then what do I do with single sheets of paper? They just end up everywhere. I'm just going to put a bit of this half tone down here. So if you are working on sheets of paper, you just want to work on a decent paper. You don't want to work on sort of photocopy paper or come back, more paint on it. You don't want to work on like photocopy paper or thin paper because your paint and your ink are just not going to like all the stuff you throw at it. So you want to start with a sturdy base. Oh my god, that looks gross. Let's see if we can fix that up. It did not work out how I expected it to work out. Let's try again. Yeah, so you just want to work on a substantial weighty paper of at least probably 200, 300 is ideal. GSM. Basically, that's the weight of the paper. Now I'm just making a mess. Really? I'm going to have to fix it up with some stenciling in a minute. Okay, let's get rid of all these grubby baby wipes. Let's put our paintbrushes back in our water. Let's not create an absolute mess I've got to clean up. Oh. Okay. Maybe if I can take some of this. So the advantage of having a gessoed page is you might have the advantage to wipe off some paint. I think I'm just wiping more on. Wipe off paint if you put it in the wrong spot. Sometimes it comes up, sometimes it doesn't. See if I can fix this up with a little bit of ink now. Where do I put my ink pads? Do I have? Oh, I do have the same colour. So I've just discovered Dina Wakely has brought out ink pads that match her paints. So apparently this is fur and fur. So let's see if it is the same colour. I haven't opened these yet. I forgot I bought them. Whoops. I'm sure we all do that as crafters. Forget we buy stuff. I sort of got them in and shoved them aside and go, oh yeah, I'll deal with those one day. Looking for a blending tool. It's going to work. So just grabbing a blending tool, just making sure it hasn't got any other yucky colours in it to start with. So I'm going to use the same stencil and try to fix up this little bit down here. So I like the idea of having matching paints and matching inks. That sounds like fun. So I'm just sort of doing round and round action with my blending tool. This is probably what I should have done in the first place instead of decided to do it the other way. Just making some of it a bit darker. Sometimes things sound good in my head, but when I go to do them, haha, yeah, they're not real good. Looks like it's definitely a lighter tone. Oh, we're going to have to go over these ones. It's definitely a lighter tone of the green. It's not as dark. So maybe they're lighter colours, the inks. Oh no, we're getting a bit darker up here. Oh, I do like that. And I'm just fading it off so I still have some white. Oh yeah, I much prefer that than the ugly mess I made before. Yes, I still make ugly messes. You guys don't see what ugly pages I do make. The ones that don't make the cutting room floor, as I say. No. For me, art journaling is all about playing, all about taking time out of your day, sitting down with your art journaling and just having a go. You get to the end and go, oh my god, I don't like it. That's okay. Work out what you don't like it, and particularly sort of, maybe don't do that thing again. Or if you're like me, you'll do it again and think it's a good idea, and I'm liking that. So I call art journaling more about the journey, not the destination. I'm trying to line this up, then obviously I didn't line it up very well to start with before. There we go. Liking that a bit better. Ooh, I think I'll have to play with my ink pads more. Be interesting to stamp it out to see if it is that darker green colour. Or whether it's always going to be a shade lighter, which would be good. Okay, I'll give that a little bit of a dry. Just checking on my phone to see if there's comments, because yesterday my computer didn't want to play nice. Now that napkin is almost dry. I'm not going to go near it at the moment, so it can just sit there and dry. I can feel that it's cold. If you feel that it's cold, it's still a bit wet underneath. Okay, now clean hands, well, little goopy hands. We're going to have a play with stuff. So I want to start working on layers, and this is where the procrastination comes in. So for these acetate sheets, I'm not necessarily going to go in and out each of the little doohickeys. They're half circles for postage stamp. I'm just going to go straight up the straight bits, because who has time to sit there and fussy cut all those? So I'm just going to roughly cut it off. So I started to make different designs in acetate for our business. Getting very clever with what I'm doing. So we've got a few on the website. They were a new release for the Advent Calendar. And I'm working on some more new products. Oh, so excited. Different products. I won't let the cat out of the bag. For September, or it might be for the Advent Calendar, we'll have to see. It's either for my September retreat or the Advent Calendar. One of the two. So just basically going along these top flat lines. And with the acetate, you're not going to see the extra plastic with the divots. Oh no, I thought I scratched the acetate. Nope, there's a bit of gunk on it. Okay, so the idea is to have, and I'm going to use some of these as layering pieces, and then our little dudes are going to go in the frame. Oh, these are a little wet. Leave these for a bit longer. They're going to be fussy cut in the frame somehow. So let's work on doing, maybe we go snowflakes. Obviously not going to use the entire bag, but let's cut. Do I want to do, or do I want to do two on this side? Do I want to do the solid ones or the, now I'm just talking to myself. Do I want to do, so we've got some frames that are sort of shaded, so they've got a dark bit and then they've got lighter bits, and we've got some frames that have got solid bits. So depending on what type of background you put them on, depending on which one looks better. And I think we're going to do a solid one on that side and two shaded ones on this side somehow. Now, I like the idea of tearing stuff because then I don't have to cut it straight. So let's dry these off, and then I can cut these out and play with these as well. I do apologise about the noise. I'm on the hunt for a heat tool that does not make a lot of noise because my last one decided it didn't want to work anymore. I had it about 8 or 9 years and I did buy it second hand, but that is beside the point. It decided it didn't want to work anymore. and I cannot, it's a Tim Holtz one, and I cannot get them into Australia because they're an export in restricted or something or other. Okay, so I'm just going to fussy cut these out. So by adding them to the white paper, A, they've kept their whiteness, and B, they're a bit more stable to use. So there's a few different ways of sticking them to white paper to make them stable. You can do this technique, which is the stick-on technique. You can do the glad wrap technique, which is you're basically using a bit of glad wrap as the adhesive, and you use it with a iron. Or there's another couple of other techniques that I've used in classes and things that you can attach your napkins to. Depending on this one, this gluing it is a bit more of a wiggly method, like a bit more of a textured method. The iron sort of flattens out all the wrinkles, so depending on what look you're going for. I'm hoping to do up some how to use napkin videos for my YouTube channel and Facebook page, showing you all the different techniques. Just need that thing called time. It keeps eluding me. I keep losing it. I've got specks of stuff. Something. Okay. I'm thinking I might need a white piece of paper behind. Where did I put that half white bit of paper I had? Thinking maybe. Depends whether I want him to stand out or whether I want him to be subtle. We'll work on that one in a minute. I'll fussy cut these two out while I'm thinking. So when these gingerbread gingerbread babies I suppose you call them, wouldn't they look gorgeous on tags for Christmas? Maybe I have to make some tags closer to Christmas with our leftovers. And I'm not going to be too fussy about his cherry on his head. Oops. So you can choose how fussy you want to be. I might dust these with a bit of ink to cover up my bits that I've missed, if I can find an ink colour that's relatively close. Let's get rid of that big bit of cutting. I've probably got the wrong scissors for fussy cutting at the moment, but they're the ones that are on my desk. If I'd got organised, I probably would have stuck a set of these on and fussy cut them before I come on live, wouldn't I? Wouldn't that have been Mel being organised? That's right, they don't take long to cut out. I had a different layout in mind. Yesterday I mapped the two layouts out, or not mapped them out, but sort of thought about them and go, oh yeah, I'll do something, and then I totally changed my mind this morning. As you do as a woman. You can change your mind on what you want to do. Nearly done, just got to cut the last of this little one. I like the idea of 3. I reckon 2 is going to look funny, so I'm going to try to use the 3. But I also didn't want to run acetate across. I thought, oh, I'll just do 3 across my page. Yep, but the middle one would be smack bang in the middle of the page with acetate, which would not work very well at all. Okay. Unless I need the bigger frame. Let me cut the bigger frame out. And see if I can fit 2 bigger frames on this side. Does anyone do as much procrastinating or thinking or moving ideas as I do? Well, now how am I going to put, so I want one this side, and I'm going to put, no. One, no, they're going to have to be the little frames because 2 won't fit, and I want to definitely use 2. We're going to make it work. We are going to make it work. Okay. Now, what else did I pull across? I pulled some bow paper, which I think I want to do like a bow underneath the frame, like sitting on the bottom of the frame or on the side of the frame. I don't know. I love that bow paper. I want to use it in some form or the other. I grabbed a couple more napkins. Do I want to use this? I don't know. Okay, let's get these frames properly cut. And then I'm going to do a bit of layering under the frames. And then I'm going to move it around 100 times, and I'm going to go with the first original place I put it. Nothing like normal. I tend to procrastinate too much, but I think, oh, it'll look different in a different way. And then I go back to the original way. So maybe I just think if it looks good, I'll stick it there. I'm sure we're all like this as crafters, or is it just me? The problem is if I start with an idea in my head and it's not quite going that way, then I get frustrated and don't know what I am doing. But that's right. Okay, do I want some snowflakes in the background? I think I do. I think I do like the snowflakes in the background. And then I might use some of, I love this that looks like an ugly jumper. I think we need to use that in some way. Maybe some stripes. Okay. So I think I'm liking that with him on the side. Him, her, it. It will be politically correct. In him, her, it. Ooh. Christmas tree's too big. So I think I want to make a decision. Right, I'll make a decision. I like this one. So this is the paper bag that some of the gifts come in the Advent Calendar, and my idea behind it was you get the paper bags as packaging for your gift, and you get to use the paper bag. So I tried to make the Advent calendars as environmentally friendly as possible. So you could use most of the bits that come in the box. I've got people excited for our Advent calendar for this year already, asking me if I'm doing it again. So we've decided we'll put pre-orders up in July and ask for a deposit to secure your box. And then I will have an idea of how many numbers I am going to have to wrap up and how many I'm going to buy. I'm not going to buy, I'm going to make. And I think there's going to be a special surprise in the Advent calendar from another business here in Australia. Another business that manufactures different things than me, but I'm not going to give it away because I haven't quite worked that way through yet, but that's my idea. Okay, I like that. Let's stick it down. Okay, where's my red tape? Red tape is over here. So you're asking, how do you stick acetate down? So what I tend to do is I will hide some tape under the black bits of the acetate, or I can hide some glue. I will hide some tape. This tape will work this time. You could, because this isn't stuck to my art journal yet, I could staple it on. I could add a brad, but that gets a bit, brad or a paper fastener, that gets a bit bulky in an art journal. So I'm going to use a bit of this. I call it red tape, so it has a red backing, and this particular one is from Studio Light, highly tacky craft tape. So it's a really sticky tape. It's a really sticky double-sided tape. So it's good for, obviously, acetate. It's good for if you do a lot of cards with interactive things, or, okay, trying to work out which side I want. So the acetate is reversible. I just worked out I've got a mark on it, but oh well, we're just going to go with it. So there's a bit more of a dark side and a bit more of a dull side. So I'm going to have the glossy side out. So we're going to stick it on this side. I'm just going to put a piece just on the dark bit. Yeah, so this red line tape, a couple of different manufacturers make it, and it's really good for, cannot see a thing with my glasses on, really good for acetate. And you don't need to glue it glue the entire acetate sheet down. A couple of bits of tape will work. And the fun bit is getting the backing off. It likes to stick to all your fingers. So normal double-sided tape doesn't really hold the acetate because it just needs to be a bit stronger. Come on. Be nice. Come off. Nope, I'm pulling the whole darn thing off. Okay, let's try another corner. There we go. Got it. Now, I want to line it up over this side. Because I want that snowflake on the side of the frame. Oh! I nearly said a naughty word then. Facebook will ding me if I say a naughty word while I'm live. I'll get a naughty naughty. It moved when I went to stick it down. So now I'm just going to cut around the acetate. And I can see a bit of the tape, but hopefully you guys can't because I lined it up a bit crooked. That's alright. Now I want to just put a bit of ink. What colours have I got? Sedara olive syrup. Ink syrup. I just want to put a bit of ink around him so he doesn't have that cut line. Okay, now what am I going to ink on top of? Because I'm going to get ink everywhere. Just looking for another blending brush. Things are not... Okay, this one will work. Little one. And I want a scrap bit of paper to ink on top of because it'll work. So this is just a small blending brush and this one is syrup. I just want to mainly do it on the edge. It's probably overkill with this big blending brush, but hey, it's working, to cover up any bits of thing I haven't cut properly. Well, this brush is a bit awkward. I think this one I stole from the makeup industry. Probably for your eyes or something. So see if we compare the two. You can sort of see the difference. Let's ink all of them. Probably a better tool to do this with, but oh well. We're making it work. Oops, don't fold your feet over. So sometimes I'll just take the ink pad, if it's a square piece of paper, I'll just take it directly to my shape. Otherwise, I will grab a blending brush. A little foam brush would probably be perfect for this, but well. 2 down, 1 to go. These feet are causing me issues. I just want to flop everywhere. So when you're inking around like this, you just want to pick a corresponding colour. Like I sort of wanted to pick the colour of the gingerbread person. I didn't want to go a leery colour because I want it to sort of blend in but not stand out, if that makes sense. Okay, they're done. Ooh. And the problem now, I've got more ink, so I've got to find another little ink storage container because my other one is full. Okay. Get rid of this. Oh, Christmas tree on the bigger frame. Hang on. I wasn't watching comments. Hang on. Christmas tree on the bigger frame. Where's my Christmas tree? Hang on. I've got a bigger frame. That is this one. Oh, it does look good. Let me find, because I think we're going to have to use the dark frames. I've got stuff everywhere. I should have another frame, acetate frame in here. Do I? Yes. This is my oopsie folder of oopsies when I print acetate. Sometimes this sheet does not work out. I've got another big one. Sometimes the sheet has small perfections in it, and I am a bit of a perfectionist when I want to sell stuff, so it goes in my oopsie folder, and I get to use them. Stay down there. No, you're not going to stay down there, are you? Where are you going to go? Find the floor it is folder, because you're not going to go back where you were intended to go. Nope, you can go back up in there. Okay. Oh, I do like it with the crop. I thought the Christmas tree would be too big, but oh, I do like it with the Christmas tree. Okay, we're going to do that. So maybe I do 2 big frames. Maybe I do a big one and a little one. Okay, let's do the Christmas tree frame. I'll have to watch the comments more often. Sometimes I get so into my crafting, I forget to watch comments. I think I'm crafting sitting here all by myself. It's actually funny filming lives because you've got to have the house quiet, and then it is funny. It's like you're talking to yourself. This frame is not as dark as that one, but it will work. If I turn it over, it'll work a lot better. Oh, you are right, Jane. It does work in the frame. Okay. And we can put a little gingerbread thing in there. Okay, let's cut this one open. Maybe I come on one day with a bunch of products and then make everyone in the comments make all my decisions for me. Choose my stencils and choose my paints and see what sort of mess we make. I find sometimes that's the hardest thing with art journaling from scratch, not following any sort of class or any sort of inspiration, is coming up with ideas. Oh, if I could cut straight, it would be a miracle. Let me put this tape back in this. The only problem with this sticky tape is it's very sticky, and if I don't put it back in its little container, it will end up on the floor and it will end up covered in bunny hair. Okay. Now I've got pieces everywhere. Oh, I do like that. And I like my frames to be interactive, so you have the choice. You can put the, what is he, a gingerbread person? We're politically correct. Gingerbread person under the frame. You can put him on top of the frame. So it's fun to play around with the acetate frames and get a different look. And you can, like, put him totally in the frame, or I like him sort of overlapping and touching. Let's stick that there. Maybe I can do 2 big ones and a little one. Ugh. Only problem about this sticky tape is it's very, very sticky. That's the only downside of it. And it makes your scissors, I'll think of it in a minute. Excuse my head for a minute. You get to see all my lovely grey hairs. At least I brushed my hair today. It's one thing about doing lives, I can sit here in my pyjamas. Now, even use the bigger frame. Oh, you meant the bigger one that you saw in my book that you shouldn't have seen. That's part of our new release for July. I made some bigger ones because I was doing an art journal page in a class and I had to make bigger frames. I actually want to, I want to see the star. Let's do it like that. I'd love some suggestions on what you'd like to see in acetate, whether it's frames or words or different images. I am working on at the moment. We have a series of black and white acetate. We are working on other things. I won't say what I'm working on. You can probably guess. So if you want any particular designs in acetate, let me know. And if it's in the realm of possibility, I can, in the realm of me making it, I'm only limited by my imagination some days. Oh, and my computer skills. That's what limits me too. Okay, so put that little frame away. Okay. So the idea was to have, and I will admit, I'm sort of copying someone's concept at the moment. I have been doing a few classes with Linda Pearson, another artist that does online classes, and she has like a square focal image on this side and usually a squarish focal image on this side or something, and I go, oh, well, that's really cool. I will I will pinch that idea. Work out what I'm going to do with maybe. Okay, let's look at some layering pieces because it needs to break it up a bit. I really want to use this. So how are we going to use this? We're going to cut in half to start with. I'm going to layer up like a scrapbook page. Straight, it would be handy. Probably should go get my paper trimmer, but that's the other side of the room. Okay. No one will look at my crooked cutting with that. No. Ah, what are you saying yes to, Jane? I lost that. Only want a strip of it in the morning. Oh, I do like the green. Do I want to stick with maybe that green down the side? Which I do like the ugly jumper, but I don't want it everywhere. So maybe we do a strip of it. Ooh, coming together, and then if I need to I can use some of the back if I want just a piece of something. Now what? Yes, I know. I was thinking this morning of what I want to do, and I really want to keep this within the Advent calendar of what was it. Oh, maybe you can just go down here and hang out. So wanting to keep it sort of with what people got for their Advent calendar, because I go, oh, I could use this. No, I can't because it wasn't in the Advent calendar. So that's sometimes challenging when you want to use something else, but I suppose I could go use anything else, but now we want some stripes over here. Hope it's not getting too boring watching me cut bits of paper and decide where I want to stick them. Promise I'm not going to procrastinate too much. I'm going to, if I like it, I'm going to go with it. It's coming together. Which bit do I want for this? Which side do I want? It's nice to sometimes watch the whole process of an art journal video, and then you go, well, I'm not alone. I procrastinate like that person does too. I think we need some, what don't I like? What piece I may not use, I'll use as a backing piece. Because I think I want some more brown. Maybe I don't. Okay, that sounds like a good idea in my head. Here's another piece this side. What have we got? I like the idea of the snowflakes. Let's go with the snowflakes. So what I think it needs is some softness. I like the idea of that green snowflake showing. Sort of trying to make interesting layers behind them. I just had a thought. What was my thought? Do I have... Might use that in a minute. Maybe not, it's white. I just pulled out some gauze, so I had a bit of a thought. Okay, let's stick these people down on top of my frames because they're annoying me moving around. Should see me when I design for art classes. For my classes I do, it takes me a day and a half to design a 2-hour class. There is a lot of umming involved and a lot of procrastinating. And a lot of, will I use this, won't I use this? And then I have it start with an idea, and then the idea turns out so different at the end. That's right. I have fun designing things. Come on, red tape. Come on, red tape. Be nice. I also want these layers, I don't want to go in, when I glue these layers down, I don't want to glue them down with gel medium. I will probably use double-sided tape or this red tape because I want them sort of to be a bit textural. Come on, red tape. Come on, fingernails. So I sort of, the background is like our stenciling and a napkin, and then these layering pieces are sort of the middle ground, and then our frames and our little cute people. Gingerbread people. Oh, come here. The foreground of the page. So I'm going to stick. Yep. You grabbed it before I put you down. Don't do that. So I like how it's touching the frame. So it's sort of grounding and it's not stuck in the middle. I don't like things that are stuck in the middle. Let's put this one down. I don't like things floating. I think that's just a my head thing. My head doesn't like things floating. So the great thing about art journaling is you can just make just about, come on, I swear at this tape in a minute. You can make just about anything, like there's no rules. There's a few sort of guidelines to follow, so sort of the guidelines of sort of a few composition rules, the same in using card making and scrapbooking and stuff. But there's no right and wrong ways to do things. If you decide you like it, you go and do it. I think I might ink these bits of paper. It's more turning into a scrapbook page now, isn't it, than an art journal page? I really want to use the third one. I wonder if, ooh, I wonder. Okay, wondering is dangerous. Let's ink the edges of those papers and we might actually stick them down. And I'll let me check comments for a minute. Hi Tracy, how you going? You're just watching me in procrastination stage of trying to get all these layers right. Where did I throw that ink pad? Just want to add a bit of colour. So I'm using the same Dina Wakelet. Yeah, these are really going to be fun to ink. You're actually going to see that? No? Okay, let's try that again. Let's use the green one. That's the green one. No, it's going on green, isn't it? You're not really going to see that. Let's try it on the back on green and see what it looks like. Actually, we might use the other blending tool, the green one we've got. No, that's not what I'm going for. Maybe I'll ink it in black. Change my mind again. Black ink pad? Maybe. Here's my ink pad drill. There we go. And I might have, we'll use this blending tool. What's it going to look like with black? I don't like it with any of those colours. Back to the drawing board. I think I need something on the edge, but I don't know what. I'll think about it some more. Maybe they need to be roughed up a bit. They're looking a bit bit square, if that makes sense. Let's just go and stick them down, because otherwise I'll sit here and procrastinate. Do I have double-sided tape near me? Because I'm sticking paper to paper. So I'm just going to go back to double-sided tape because we're sticking paper to paper, and just stick my layers down, because then I cannot change my mind and I will not procrastinate anymore. And I can always ink them if see, not procrastinating and ripping the darn thing off. How do I have it? This is the problem. Did I have it going that way? No, I had definitely the green thing showing. Stick, it's down. So I tend to do this when I build a focal image or layers. I tend to tack all my pieces together and don't stick it to the back until I am happy with it. And then I can, except when I put my tape where I don't want it. That's right. Now it'll freely move around and it needs something else added to it. Let's glue, stick this one down. I admire people that can start sticking from the base and get all the layers right, and it's like, no, that's not me. I have to move it around 100 times and procrastinate with it. I can't believe it's like 25 weeks till Christmas. It's like, how did that happen? This year's just flown by. I thought the last couple of years. See, I like that one. This one looking, it needs something. It needs a something. What does it need? It needs some more stripes. Maybe it needs some stripes. Maybe it needs... I've got stripes. Okay, we're going to go with stripes. But then the stripes are going... okay. Must be very entertaining watching me cut paper and... Oh, Jane says red. Yeah, it does need some red, doesn't it? Okay, I agree with that. What have I got in red? Ooh! Because I was going to cut a bow out. Yeah, it does. It's gappy up there. Okay, where can I cut a bow out from? And which bow do I want? Because I think it needs something. This one. I'll cut a bow out and see what it looks like. So this is just wrapping paper we used for the Advent Calendar, and amazing how much wrapping paper I went through with the Advent Calendar, but it was fun. I wasn't intending to wrap so many gifts with it. They were all supposed to go in the little paper bags, and then, well, some of the gifts that someone, I don't know who that was, decided to put stuff in it, didn't fit in the paper bags, did it? Or do we want a... quickly cut this out and see what it looks like. Maybe I need to ink a red bit of paper or paint a red bit of paper. I did get red paint. Out. You know how hard it is to find a good red paint? The red shade of Christmas. I went all through my paint buckets and then eventually found one in the Art by Marlene stash that I don't use very often. Actually, I could paint a red bit of paper. Probably got cardstock somewhere I could use, or pattern paper, but God knows where that would be. And to find that rather quickly, that's not going to happen. I need someone to come in and organise my craft room so I can actually find stuff, which would be... I do like that there. Right, let's find a bit of paper. I had half a bit of white paper before. Let's cut a square of it and paint it red. too small. Cut a bit too small. Let's try that again. Let's go across this way. I might paint 2 bits of paper because I think I might use that other bit on the other side. Oh, I'm in procrastination mode today. It's only because I've got paperwork to go and do. Okay, we're going to paint that bit red. I think that's going to pop. And I'm going to put the bow down here because I like the bow. So I'm going to put that up there. And I think we need some red on here somewhere. And then we've got red at the top and red at the top. Which won't really matter because it then all sort of matchy-match. And I still want to use him, but I don't know where I want to use him. Maybe I want to put... Aha. Maybe it needs to go down here. I think it does need to go down here. Okay, painting. Where am I going to paint? Let's just do this. So I'm going to paint the top bit of that and almost all of that. And I had some red paint somewhere. So we found... ink the sides in red. Did I have a red ink pad? Actually, that's what I struggled with, so I'm probably going to do paint. Because I really don't have a red ink pad in an archival or a... hopefully this is the right red. It's going to have to be. I struggled to find a really red ink pad in my stash. I will have to go shopping. What I need to do is actually make a swatch book and swatch out the colours I have. So when I do go shopping, haha, that just sounds like Mel will be too organised. When I do go shopping, I know what colours I've got. Oh, that's a nice red. So that's art by Marlene. I think it's actually called Ho 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 Paint. Probably sitting there thinking, Melinda, for God's sake, make a decision. Whoops. Now we stuck my finger in the paint. I almost did again. Really? I think I only needed the top bit of this one done. What I think I need to do is craft with someone, and then, you know, if I can't come up with an idea, it's like, tell me what to do. Tell me how to finish my layout. Everyone always comes up with much better ideas than I can. Oh. I'll see if this is the right red. Hopefully it is, because it's just going to have to work. It's a bit brighter than the actual shade, but it almost matches the napkin down the bottom. So that's cool. And I'm going to get this little bit off that I stuck my finger in. I don't know, trying to match up reds is fun. Let's stick that bit on. It's a bit brighter, but it does match the brightness in the napkin on the edges, so it's going to work. We're getting there. We're on the last legs of the layout. We're on the procrastination stage. And we're going to stick this. Yeah, it does look fancy with the red. It sort of, it needed something. It was looking a bit flat without the pop of red. Okay. Now I'll get rid of that. That's got paint all over it. Okay, now it just needs, what does it need? I wonder if it needs, I've been on a mission to use this up, wonder if it needs some gauze to make it a bit softer. Bring in a bit of white. So this is just medical gauze that I had bought for a purpose, and it was cheaper to buy it in a huge box, so I did, and then we didn't need it anymore. Always the way. But you could use cheesecloth or things like that. So I'm just wondering whether it needs some so I'm just cutting a bit in half. I'm just going to distress it a bit to see if it just needs a bit of, like, another layer of texture, because it's looking a bit flat at the moment. We'll put this on and see. It's amazing how a little bit of gauze just brings the page to, probably don't need that big a bit. You can distress it as much as you like. And if we put it up under, oh, I think I do like that. So it just adds another layer without adding a big layer. I wonder if I put it under the, well, that's almost going to get lost. Does it go under the red? Do I somehow pick my piece of paper up without tearing it? Maybe. Where'd it go? Oh, now it's running all over this page. And shove a bit under there. And the bit that was under here moved. Sort of want it to be subtle, but not. Let's glue that bow down. Ugh. And of course my glue is erupting everywhere. Why would it do that? Hang on, just catching up comments while I'm doing. Oh, hi Judy, how you going? Just happened to look at Facebook and look. I sort of, Judy, it was a bit of a late thing. I decided to do a sale at the end of the year, and I only put up on Friday that I was doing lives. And Facebook is a bit funny. If you're not on Facebook a lot, it tends to not push out the notifications from pages you've liked or something. I don't know. I don't get the whole Facebook thing. It's I have been a bit quiet on social media. Just life's been busy. I finally have a weekend where, well, I do have paperwork I've got to get done this weekend, but I finally have a weekend where I don't have absolutely deadlines. I have to get stuff done. It's only taken 6 months. Ooh, I do like that. It's adding a bit of tails on the chop. Adding a bit of softness. So Judy, these are just pieces that have come out of our Advent Calendar that we did last year. That was my new release for April. Should have been February. Oh well, everything's late this year. It's better late than never is my motto. So just playing around with some napkins and paper bags and just making a mess, really. So as I did a live yesterday, so all the lives on Facebook stay on Facebook for 30 days. And I grab them off Facebook and upload them to the YouTube channel, which is the same business name, Scrapbooking Craft. So then they are preserved forever. So if you see this and go, oh, I really like that, in a month's time or 2 months' time and go, I want to take the elements or directly copy, I don't care if you directly copy, the videos are there for you to look at again and again. That's the word I'm trying to get out. So I just want a little bit over here. I'm a bit of a matchy person. If I had something like I've got gauze on the, really? I can't cut today. I've got gauze on the red and the green over here, and that bit is not sitting right. Why is it not sitting right? I don't know how it's supposed to be sitting, but I sort of wanted on the green and the red over here. I don't know. I like things to match. Still wanting to get my third little critter on, but I don't think he's going to, unless third little critter, third little gingerbread man. I don't know, something very different for me. Ooh, maybe I'll do that. Ooh, I do like that. That's a bit bulky though. Maybe I'll do it a bit. Because that one's got the bow, And then that one's got the extra gingerbread person. Okay, am I done? Am I finished? These look a bit, I don't know whether it's me, but they look a bit, I don't know. They need a bit of ink on them, but what colour? I tried to ink one. They just look a bit naked. I think they need a bit of green ink because they're too clean, and things can't be clean on my layouts because things have to be. Yep, we're just going to go with it. Hey, if this wrecks it, that's right. It sounds good in my head. Yes, the little dudes are very cute. There are some available on my website, I believe. They'd be great on cards, Judy. Hint, hint. They're from this napkin. So you get, I think, 12 little men, people, girls. I don't know, they're girls or men, on a napkin. So they look great on tags, actually. Maybe I have to make some tags. We're going for it. This doesn't look any good. Well, we're doing it. Just putting a bit of, what do we got? Dina Wakley fur ink on the edge. The edges just look, I don't know, naked to me. Unfinished. I don't know. See, this is where my weird head thinks it needs something, and then I do it, and then my head goes, well, that was a dumb idea. But I just want to do a very small. I think I'll do it on the red. And I should have done it before I stuck it all together. Oh, yeah, I much like that. See how it sort of toned it in a bit? Okay, we're going to go to this side. So it did turn out to be a good idea. Usually things like that, especially with me, go, oh, just one more thing. Hang on. I'm going to try not to get gauze. I tried this before and I didn't like it, but now I do like it. But I only want to do it on the brown paper bags, which has actually come from the little baggies that we sent your Advent Calendar out in. So I tried to make the Advent Calendar as usable as possible. So I went and got all these little cute little baggies. And half the products I designed for the Advent Calendar didn't fit in the bags, but that's alright. I think we're getting there. I wonder if we have a quote to... Very different to what I usually do. Very, very different, but I'm really liking it. Oh, I do like the second one there, because it's sort of, I don't know, it has to balance in my head, because we've got like 2 images here and 2 images here. I don't know, my head's a weird place to be, but it likes balancy things. I don't know. And what am I going to do with this one person that I have stuck on and fussy cut out if he doesn't get on the page? He's just going to get put somewhere to hang out all by himself. Hi Leanne, how are you going? So this video will be uploaded to Facebook after I finish the live, and it will also be available on YouTube. So if you've come in halfway through and go, how did Melinda get to that? You can re-watch it. I think I've made a blooming mess. You should see outside my filming area, but I'm not going to show you that because that's embarrassing. I'm going to see if we have a quote that matches. So also in the Advent Calendar that we did, and we're going to do it again this year because Mel is nuts and wants to wrap up 20 million presents again. We have some acetate quotes. Let's choose to see the good, trust your crazy ideas, be awesome today, give out what you most want to come back. I like this one. One thing I know, that is I know nothing. Nothing is impossible. Look on the bright side. Think happy thoughts. Okay, trying to think of one that will go with, and I'm thinking down here. Trust your crazy ideas. I think I used that yesterday, didn't I? What did I use yesterday? That was only yesterday and I can't remember. No, it wasn't trust your crazy ideas, because I think it comes from the same sheet. Ride a rainbow. It's not really a rainbow. Look on the bright side. Do all things with love. Maybe do all things with love. Any quotes jumping out to people to say use, because I'm being indecisive again. Choose to see the good. Maybe trust your crazy ideas, because I'm thinking down here, and I'm thinking I'm going to have to mount it on a piece of paper because it's going to get lost unless I cut it and put it just in this little space. Okay, I think I'm going to go trust your crazy ideas, because this was a bit of a crazy idea. Oh, and I've got gauze stuck to everything. That's the problem with the acetate. It's a bit staticky, and it picks up every little piece of bunny fur. It picks up every piece of hair, every piece of dust or lint. So acetate was one of our new products for our Advent Calendar, and I've got some nice ones coming up for the July release. If you came to my May retreat, you would have already seen them, but they'll be going up on the website. My July will have to be up. My new July release is my next job for today. It's photographing all the products. Not fun. I'm uploading them one by one. Not fun again. It's got to be done by end of July. I've got a virtual retreat with Hillbilly Scrapping, so that is my self-imposed deadline. It has to be done by then. Trust your... Maybe if I pull this up a little. Trust your... Maybe I do crazy and then I do ideas. Trust you... Trust... I've just realised that says trust you crazy ideas. Well, that was a bit of a... I thought it said trust your. No, it says you. Whoopsies. Wonder if that's the one I fixed. No, I've got an old sheet. That's right. We're going to have to go have a look at that. I know I printed some acetate, and I then worked out I had a spelling error on something. I think I got the one with the spelling error. I'm going to add a Y to it. A R to it. Trust your... Just going to pencil in a Y. A U. Oh, R. God, I can't even bloody spell. Why am I doing a U? It's got a U at the end. Trust your... Okay, let's glue that down. It's not a good thing. Ooh, acetate Christmas sayings. I have to put that on my list. Yes. I've just... when's that going? Has that gone up? I've just made a new one. Ooh, there is a new one with sayings on my website that's up at the moment. That's part of the July retreat. That is nature-y sayings. I'll have to do some Christmas ones. Jane, are you thinking more cards or art journal-y, scrapbooky idea ones? As in Christmas sayings. I like snarky sayings too, so I like the ones that are a bit cheeky and a bit... Yeah, just add an R, Tracy, I will. And I'll have to go check this sheet. I know I forgot an R on something, and I corrected it before I sent... I think everyone's out. But I tend to get the goof ups. I'm terrible at spelling. I have to get my daughter to check my spelling on things before I put them out for sale, shouldn't I? Alexis is a bit dynamite in spelling. She could spot a spelling mistake a mile away. She is actually, we're both studying at the moment, they're both studying part-time, hence why I'm a bit time poor, studying Cert 4 in bookkeeping and accounting, and the most fun she is having is not doing the course she wanted to do. The most fun Miss Alexis is having is finding all the grammatical errors, the spelling errors in our assignments and our textbooks. And you'd think that at a Cert 4 university level, we're through a university, see if I can match the font, you would think that someone would do some proofreading, but apparently proofreading is not their strong point at RMIT, which is where we're studying. Oh, art journaling ones, Jane. Ooh, yes. Actually, they would match the a few, okay, maybe a lot of Christmas napkins I have coming out at the end of the year as well, because, and I think it needs a I think it needs an exclamation mark, which I'm going to have to do in a paint pen. Yes, I will have to put that on my list. I've got a running list of things I want to do, and some Christmas sayings would be good. I'll just have to get Alexis to proofread them. I'm just going to do an exclamation mark. Excuse my head for a minute. So the great thing about the acetate is you can draw over it in with paint pens. So normal pens wouldn't work, so I use like a ballpoint pen because I did the R on my actual journal page. Maybe Alexis get paid as a proofreader. She's already worked out. She does my BAS statements for me. Takes my bank statements for my business and puts them into a spreadsheet and puts them in like columns of stock and storage and accommodation, taxis, whatever. So she's really good at doing that. So now she's 18. She's worked out that I could actually stop paying her in cherry tomatoes, which is what I would tell her I'd pay her in before she was 18, and start paying her in cash. So Missy went down the rabbit hole of how I could pay her through my business. Oh my God. That is fun. Yes, I'll have to pay her to be a proofreader. She's good at proofreading my my tape assignments too, because she picks up all the spelling errors, all the typing errors. I think I'm going to stick these down and call it done. Do I want to do anything around here? I do have a bit of napkin overlapping, which I will cut off, but I'll do that off camera because that is a bit boring to see. I think I like the white, so I don't think I want to do any sort of border. I think I'm going to leave it and not go, oh, I think this is a good idea, and touch it. I was thinking, but I think I've decided I'm not thinking it. I like the darkness through the middle, but if you didn't like the darkness, you could take a white paint pen and do like your sort of go across the dark lines, which would lighten it up a bit. But because most of it's getting covered with the little collagey things, also a very different art journal page to what I usually do. Been influenced by another artist that I've done a few classes with, Linda Pearson. So what am I going to do? I'm going to double side tape this down. Yes, Alexis would make an awesome proofreader or an awesome editor because she is dynamite on finding errors. We actually start studying again on Monday, so she has great delight in getting the assignments and going right through them and coming out and telling me she's found more errors. So I am going to add some glue to the double-sided tape as well, just to doubly make sure that this is stuck in my book. But I didn't want to use gel medium or anything like that because I want it to be like stuck down but not, oh, now I put that tape over the gauze, which is causing issues. I didn't want to like glue the layers of paper down with the gel medium because they'll be too flat, if that makes sense. I'm just going to add a bit of craft glue. Yes, I probably could have just used the craft glue. Don't know why I used double-sided tape and craft glue, but hey, it ain't going to move. I'm going to do the same with this one. I'm going to do double-sided tape and glue. Sometimes by using double-sided tape and glue, you get a bit of wiggle room with the double-sided with the glue, and then the double-sided tape is there if your glue fails a little. My art journals are opened a lot at classes and retreats, so I do like to make sure things are stuck very, very well. Yes, the thing is, Judy, Miss Alexis likes to Google. So Miss Alexis works out if she works, because she gets paid more as she gets older, because at the moment she's 18, so she'd be on the 18 rate. And then she worked out when she turns 19, she works one less hour and can get the same amount of pay. Then when she turns 20, she can work one less hour again. By the time she turns 21, she works 3 less hours per week and gets the same wage. And she goes, I can't wait until I'm 21. I can do 3 less hours of work and still get the same amount of money, Mum. I go, you little clever little person. That's not the whole point of it. But yes, she will be able to be an employee of my business and make her do all the yucky jobs I don't like. She's very helpful at the moment. It's really good. She's very helpful when I'm picking large napkin orders, because she'll stand there and like yell out. They've all got code numbers, or all our products have got code numbers in our boxes. And I tend to look at the order sheet, look at the code number, go to the box, forget what the code is, then have to look at the sheet again. So if she stands there and verbally tells me what the numbers are, it's a whole lot easier than me having to look at the sheet 10 times and forget. That's down now. It's crooked, it's crooked. Oh, I do like how that's come out. I think we'll call that done. And the only thing I'm going to do off camera is trim up the little bit of napkin on the side this one looks pretty good. It needs a little bit of trimming. I will take some photos and pop it up on the Facebook page with links to all the products. So if you are looking for, except for the paper bags, if you got the Advent Calendar, you'll have some of those. Thank you very much for taking some time out of your Sunday for joining me and watching me procrastinate way too much about layers and things. Judy laughing at Miss Alexis going, she worked when she's 21, she worked 3 less hours to get the same pay. She's a bit like that, Missy. She's very cunning. She's very good at saving, actually. She gets a bit of pocket money at the moment and she saves it all up, which is fun, and has discovered bank interest since she hit 18. Oh, she's funny. She'll be a millionaire one day, Miss Alexis. Yeah, she's hilariously funny some days. So thank you very much for taking time out of your day, and don't forget we have a sale on until Tuesday night, the 30th of June, 25% off all the website. The only thing it's not off is retreat deposits or payments. All other stock, so you can grab some of Alexis's napkins or chipboard or stencils, anything you're being eyeing off. And I believe it's $80 and it's free postage. Don't quote me on that. It's 80 or 85, something like that. I think it's 80. I don't know. I just set it on the computer and then I forget about it. But there is I think it's $80. It does say it on the front of the website. But I'll go take a photo of this. I'll fix up all the video and I'll load it up on Facebook for you if you come halfway through and want to see it from the start. Everyone have yeah, she's too clever, Judy, for her own good some days. Usually when she comes up and goes, Mum, I go, yes, Alexis, what is it? Time, effort, or money this time? She's so funny. Oh, yes, I noticed that, Judy. There's a few people I have to say thank you for paying your retreat deposits, because, yes, we're on the countdown of September now. I was shopping last night for gifts and things and some raffle prizes and things. So I've got to get organised early this time, because there may be something else happening in a couple of months that will mean I need to be organised super early. Life's just getting nuts, but that's all right. We'll get there. Thank you very much for watching. I'll leave you all to your lovely afternoon. I have to go have some lunch and then tackle this paperwork I've been putting off all day. And can't wait to see if you create anything like this. Share it on social media and tag Scrapbooking Or if you don't put it on social media, you can always send it in a message and I can have a look at it that way. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a lovely afternoon. Bye for now.